Welcome, everybody, to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, episode number 190. And coming up on this one, Morgan Rielly suspended for 5 games for a cross-check to the face. Marner and Tavares, they can't play against the Blues due to an illness. The Leafs play a solid game all around. They beat the Blues 4-1, and we got one segment tonight, whale of a game. Guess who that's going to be? All this and more coming up on episode 190 of the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast.
For the first time, the Leafs have played a game without Rielly, Tavares, and Marner, all in the lineup since John Tavares joined the team. We're going back many years here. Wild that those 3 guys were out tonight. With 3 of the top guys out of the lineup, who would step up? Well. Let's hit the intro.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round! Do you believe this? Holy mackerel!
Welcome, everybody, to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and Tip In Pod on Twitter.
Wow. It's been, yeah.
God, it's been a while.
Oh,
This is what happens when you take a month off. Mm-hmm. And Tip In Podcast on TikTok. That's right. We're on TikTok. We apologize, everybody, for not being around for the last month. Some personal stuff has come up, and we just couldn't do it.
Just before we get cooking here, I'll just take this opportunity off the top to just be serious for a second. I'll apologize to you, Chad, off the top. I apologize to the listeners as well. Had some personal stuff going on, trying to work through some things. And I'm the main reason why we've been away for as long as we've been away. But here we are tonight. I don't want to fully really get into a bunch of stuff, but
you're here.
Here we are. Here we are. The boys.
And we should state we do this all on our own.
Yeah.
We have no help. We edit everything ourselves. We post all the shorts, all the YouTube clips. Everything is done by us. So if we don't have each other, it's really difficult to put out a podcast just by yourself or solo or whatever.
100%. But guess what? The boys are back in town. Okay.
That's right.
Are back in town. I wish we could have used that song as the intro tonight. We could have, but we would have.
It would have cost us money.
We wish we could have used that. But anyway, okay. Anything off the top here, Chad? Because I want to go right. You tell me, because it's been a while. If you don't have anything off the top, I want to go right to the segment immediately. We're gonna get to the Rielly suspension in a minute, but if you don't have anything off the top, I want to go right to the segment.
Well, I got one thing that I want to say. It has nothing to do with hockey, but something I saw this morning in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada.
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine.
In downtown Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, this morning, I saw a dude on a bicycle picking out empties from recycle bins, because
that can't be the first time you've seen that.
No, it gets better, and everybody's seen that. Every town has the dude who walks around, but this dude was going from bin to bin, and before he put the can in his bag, he would drink whatever was left in the bottom of the can. No. I watched him for 5 minutes. He's tipping up the fucking cans, taking the last little bit, and then putting it in his bag.
Oh,
I almost it was 8:30 in the morning. I was almost sick to my stomach.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Are we talking alcohol or hop and iced tea?
No. They go and they collect the alcohol empties, the beer cans, because you get money back for them, right?
Yeah.
So he's picking out the Coors Lights and the Coors Banquets out of the recycle bins, and he'd tip it up and put it in his mouth and then throw it in his plastic bag on his bike and wheel on up to the next recycle bin.
Man,
disgusting.
That is some wild stuff. I can't say I've ever seen that. I have absolutely seen the people that go around and collect empties out of the people's recycling pockets.
They do it at my house. They go,
I've been seeing that shit for years. I have never one time seen someone decide to fucking go for it before they like empty the can fully.
Yeah,
Like,
every single one. Like I watched him for a good 5 minutes, and every single can he picked up, he tipped it in his mouth and took that last drop.
Oh my God. Like, just think about that for a second. I can't believe he went there. Like, just think about that for a second. Like, usually, like, I usually take my empties back, but like, think about for a second, like, I usually, like, there might be a minute amount of alcohol remaining in the bottom of my cans. Like, I usually drink the cans until they're done. Okay.
Right. But there's usually a drop or two.
Drop or two. But we're talking a drop or two. Like,
but maybe he gets lucky every now and then.
Like, no one usually
the can up and there's a good mouthful in there.
Okay. But that's what I was going to say. No one usually puts their empties in the recycling with like half a beer in there or like a quarter of a beer. Like, it's usually right at, that's wild stuff, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'd never seen it in my life. Obviously the dude's desperate if you're doing that, but
that is wild.
It was crazy. But let's get into some Toronto Maple Leaf hockey.
Got the Rielly suspension coming right up here, but I want to go to a segment right away because I was absolutely blown away by this cat tonight, Chad. We're going to hear from our old baseball coach right here. You might have to explain it after we hit the intro, but please throw to it.
It's time for Whale of a Game.
Mike Taylor here, Chad Dale, Whale of a Game. Huge.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, we played baseball when we were younger, and our coach, Mike Taylor, who Dale was just impersonating there in the intro, he didn't say it off.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. You actually went and got Mike's.
That was him.
Oh, okay. I always thought that was you.
No, man.
That's crazy. It's nice that you've kept in touch all these years.
Actual coach.
He didn't say it often. He didn't praise very often. He didn't praise at all. But once in a while, if you just had a hell of a game, he would say, hey, whale of a game.
That is 100% accurate. And yeah, it did not happen very often. And here's another thing that happened probably too often. We had an assistant coach for a little while named Greg McMillan. Okay. And every now and then he would just how old would we have been at this time? Like
we were like tweens, 12, 13, 14, maybe 11.
Far too young for him to be doing what he was doing. Little pat on the behind, boys, after a good play or a good whatever. Like an assistant coach given to softball players like that are kids, a nice little like good game, boys, slap on the ass. No, I'm sorry, Mr. McMillan. That's something you see in the major leagues, okay? That's not something you see in church league softball, okay? Like you frame it. Yeah, he framed it big time with the old pat on the asses for the kids. Did not love that, but different time, different age, whatever. We'll get over that.
And to be fair, they treated it like it was Major League Baseball. So.
100%, man. Anyway, there's a little trip down memory lane to kick things right off here.
There was no soft coaching back then. There was no everybody participates, everybody's a winner. It was
just soft pats on the ass, like for children from our assistant coach. Not the best. But anyway, here's what I'm going to say right here, man. The game, like, again, we got the Rielly extension or the Rielly suspension coming right up here in a minute. But whale of a game to our boy, Bobby McMahon, driving the net, okay, for his first goal. They just don't have enough guys, Chad, that do that. I love the first goal of the game by Bobby McMahon, driving the front of the net, burying it. He wasn't, how many times did they say on the broadcast tonight? He wasn't even supposed to play in this hockey game. If it wasn't for Tavares and Marner being ill, he would have been a healthy scratch. Well, what are these like cake on the face, egg on the face? What is it?
Shelly, it's both.
Whatever. Anyway, and then his second goal, he won a puck battle in front of the net, and then he ripped it top shelf, and then he gets the empty netter for his first 2-goal career game, and then he pops the empty netter for the hat trick. Look, here's what I'm going to say about our boy Bobby McMahon before I throw it to you. Super impressed with this guy. He got more minutes tonight because 2 of their top forwards were out, Marner and Tavares. So I believe that McMahon, and I'm not just basing it off of this game. Like, we've talked about McMahon before, and I just like what he brings to the table. He's got some injury history, can't stay healthy, whatever. Same with Robertson. I'm going to touch on Robertson a bit too. But do you not think that McMahon, if he was given more ice time, you've got guys like Nye not doing a lot. You got guys like Bertuzzi not doing a lot, although he could have scored 4 tonight, but he didn't. Do you not think McMahon deserves maybe a shot to play higher up in the lineup? What do you think?
Yeah, well, after tonight, I think he should have a. I don't know how high in the lineup you want to go.
Well,
but like tonight, because of the illnesses and Rielly's suspension and everything going on, he was elevated all the way from a healthy scratch to the third line, and he basically all season. What have we been complaining about on this podcast? Secondary scoring. If it's not coming from Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, we're not getting any scoring. Boom. Secondary scoring. Third line had 2 goals tonight and an empty netter. So, yeah, I think he deserves to play. I don't know why he would have been a healthy scratch to begin with.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, obviously, they've, like, Reeves is drawn back in and, like, they're giving him opportunities, but he's still not, like, he's played better. He's not hurting the team like he once was earlier in the season. But, I mean, he's not bringing it anywhere near what like McMahon drew a penalty tonight, even though the power play was whatever. Okay. Yeah. But, like, I don't know. Just I look at a guy like McMahon and I'm just like, here's a guy that's got something that he can bury the puck. He's got, and just the way he was driving the net and his play in front of the net. Like, dude, how many times have we talked about, like, the net front presence, the lacking of net front presence on this team? And here's a guy who's like, yeah, I'll go to the fucking front of the net. No problem.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's just something different. It's something that a lot of the people on this team won't do. A lot of the guys on this team won't drive the net. They don't play that kind of way. No. And the other thing is like, why is Keefe not kind of, you're going through this rut. You know, they had lost 6 in a row on home ice, right? Until tonight, they finally snapped it. Why are you not sitting a few of these guys and playing a guy like Bobby McMahon? What it showed me tonight without Tavares and without Marner in the lineup is that you can sit some guys if you want to. I'm not talking to sit the big boys, but like you could pull out a Robertson and put in a McMahon if Robertson's not going. You could have Nye sit for a game and put someone else in. Just
like they arguably played their best game in 2024 tonight. I know the Blues weren't like on it. Like the Blues played a shitty game, but the Leafs play with 3 of their top guys out. They look pretty good. Yeah. And like this is kind of a theme here. Like that has happened in the past, not with 3 of the top guys out, but a couple top guys out here and there, whatever.
Yeah, what did they do? Like 14-2 with Rielly out last year?
It's so crazy that it's hard to explain. It really is. It's hard to explain.
But it isn't. It's that whole thing, right? When you get elevated, anything in life, like if you.
But why can't they do that with just the big boys in the lineup?
Well, with the big boys in the lineup, they are who they are. They know they're not going to get benched. They know they're going to get their ice time. Everything's good. If you go into work and your boss is like, you know what, today we need you to do something very important. We're going to promote you up. All of a sudden, your attention's going to get higher. You're going to be like, all right, I got to be on my game today. And that's kind of what happened. Everybody got elevated with Tavares and Marner being out. Everyone got elevated. Everyone was engaged. Everyone is kind of been talking about fire Keefe or whatever. Tonight, that was the team buying into the coach's system. That looked like the old Leafs from a couple of years ago when Keefe first came in, holding the team down to under 20 shots, playing puck possession. Like that was Keefe's system. And we saw it tonight from guys who were like, shit, I got to do exactly what the coach says because, you know, tonight I'm a third liner. I'm a second liner. That's what I saw. It was pretty
it's interesting. So it's eye-opening, really, like to be like, so what? Like the top guy, like they got something from. I want to talk about Robertson. Nylander scored. Sure, great. Like I thought Robertson played a good game as well. I thought he was all over it. Like he was
a couple mistakes, but
sure. But like here's another guy who's making like no money. Him and McMahon making no fucking money, and they McMahon led the way here. Like, okay, I just thought Robertson played a good game. I just wanted to touch on him quickly. No power play time. I don't agree with that. Like, he's got as many goals as Bertuzzi this season.
I know.
playing far less games and far lless ice time.
With less talent. Bertuzzi has played the majority of the season with William Nylander and John Tavares. William Nylander's having a career year, and you haven't scored in 17, 18 games. And this guy's you're on a lot, 18 games, and this guy's on your wing.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I guess we can jump to Rielly here, but I just wanted to obviously whale of a game for McMahon. Our boy, shout out. And Robertson, I thought, looks good. Like, he's finally healthy. He looks like he can contribute. Like, I'm just liking what I see out of these two guys. And I would not be opposed to, because of, Bertuzzi's close, but he's not burying it. He doesn't have a goal this calendar year. He hasn't scored since before Christmas. I think December 17th or something like that. So, and again, like, Robertson has as many goals as Bertuzzi with far less opportunities to succeed. So,
and like you said, on a way, way lower cap hit.
Oh, man, it's crazy. So I don't know. I guess ultimately I'll leave it on this. Like, I would like to see McMahon and Robertson get a chance to play a little higher up. It's not like Bertuzzi's killing it. It's not like Nyes is killing it. I'm still a fan of Matthew Nyes. He's he's a rookie. He's a rookie. Okay. Bertuzzi, not so much. Like, this guy needs to be doing a lot more. Although we haven't done a podcast since he cut his hair. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, what's this guy thinking? But then when he explained that it was donated to kids with cancer, I was like, okay.
Still a big mistake, though, right?
Well,
I'm just joking. No, it's awesome.
I get what you're saying. Like, I actually thought, I was like, wouldn't it be weird if he cuts his hair and then just goes on a run? Like, all of a sudden he's scoring like crazy, but it didn't happen. Cut his hair, same player. Nothing changed. But
no, same thing. No, I'm joking about, like, it's awesome that he,
for sure,
that he does that, like, grows his hair out and
But
I didn't know. I didn't know
you knew
that.
Yeah, before you knew that, when you just saw it, you were probably like me and like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
This guy's crazy, man. What's he thinking? Cutting his Mike Ricci mop? No chance. But no, kudos to him
because he don't look good with short hair.
No. And he's just, him and Benoit just rocking those neck guards. Nothing against that either. Like, I get it. Like, protection, like safe. Like,
I think they should be mandatory, but yeah,
I have no problem with that. But it's just it's an odd look, I guess. So take some getting used to. But anyway, Bertuzzi, you gotta maybe a little more on Bertuzzi a little later. But we gotta go to the Rielly suspension here. He ends up getting 5 games for his cross check on Ridley Gregg at the end of the Ottawa game on Saturday night. Okay. I'll just start here by saying I think this is bullshit. I think this suspension is bullshit. Morgan Rielly has an absolute clean history of doing nothing like this, not even anything remotely close to this. I don't think that he meant to cross-check him in the neck/head region. I think he was going for, like, intent. Like, he was
going for the shoulder.
I think so. It ended up being like getting up higher, whatever. But before I throw it to you, I'll say this about this. The way this fucking dude who had Ridley Gregg or whatever the fuck his name is, who plays for the worst team in the history of the National Hockey League, the Ottawa Senators, fucking Leafs can't beat those guys. It drives me mentally insane. But look, man, for this fucking, he's a rookie. This kid, he's got a cup of coffee in the NHL, and he decides on an empty netter at the inside the hash marks to wire it, slap shot in the fucking net for an empty netter. Guess what, Chad? If I was on the ice there, I don't care if you're old school or new school. I don't care what the fuck you think listening to this or watching this. I would have taken that fucking kid's head off, right off of his fucking body. If I was on the ice there, I don't know how you felt about that, but I'm like, no, man, no fucking way. No fucking way.
Listen, as soon as it happened, I was watching the game, and as soon as he did that, took the big wind-up slap shot into the empty net, I was just like,
the balls on that fucking
That's
kid.
exactly what I thought. I was like, holy shit, who's this guy? What the fuck is happening? After I thought about it more, like, I thought Rielly's response was very appropriate.
Oh,
I wish some of the other guys on the ice at the time Head of maybe showed some balls too, but we can talk about that in a minute. But anyway, did you not kind of love? Like, I hate that he did it, but I loved seeing Ottawa and Toronto having a little bit of a scrappy brawl at the end of a game. Like, all of a sudden, this kid just renewed the Battle of Ontario. I wish they were playing again this week.
Dude, same here. And they don't have another game this season. But
I know, it sucks.
I was hearing like Drager on the game, like in the intermissions tonight, and just kind of when the suspension came down around 6 o'clock or whatever. A lot of the insiders and just people, not all of them, but a lot of them, like there's mixed opinions on this. And do I think Rielly should have been suspended? Yes, for sure. 5 games? Hell fucking no. First time offender, and I don't think he even meant to cross-check him up high. I think he like meant to go lower, and it's just fucking whatever. But I'm glad that somebody did something because, like, again, I will say this again. If I was on the ice for that, I would have taken that fucking kid's head off. Like 100%. There, I don't give a fuck if I would have got
back in the day. Imagine back in the day, like with Tucker and Corson and those guys. If a rookie on the Ottawa Senators,
he would have been leaving on a stretcher. He would have been leaving on a stretcher.
So yeah, but what really made me mad about that play, and you can go back.
And sorry, I just want to preference this by saying, like, I'm not condoning cross checks to the fucking head.
No. Like you said, he was going in to give him a shove in the shoulder, a hard shove. And it kind of rode up his shoulder into his neck and right into his head. But if you go back and watch the play, Rielly's like fighting in there. Domi comes in and starts grabbing some guys or whatever. Nylander's standing around. Tavares is standing around. I'm just like,
they did get in there, but they didn't really want to.
Matthews, they just kind of grabbed somebody or whatever. I don't know.
They wouldn't have got in there if Rielly didn't do what he did. Like,
no, if Rielly hadn't done it, nobody on the ice would have done it. Maybe Domi might have done something, but other than that,
I think it would have been ho hum, fucking regular. We lost. Whatever. Like, how you can't accept a guy buried like that? Just come on, man.
Even old like Mark Mathot, who hates the Toronto Maple Leafs, played for the Ottawa Senators. Even he came out after and he's like, the Rielly should be suspended, but it was the right thing to do after a guy does that into the empty net. So even like old Ottawa Senators are saying it was the appropriate play for Rielly. He just went, he did the right thing, but he did it the wrong way. Like, he should have went over, grabbed him, dropped the gloves, and fought.
100%. I wish
and not use his stick to do.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Like, but they were saying, like, I was gonna make this point about some of the guys, like Drager specifically was saying, like, that they were using the comparison of like, like the NHL's trying to say like the cross check to the head and whatever, and like you can't, whatever. Like, I get you can't do that, but they were looking at previous like suspensions from guys that have done far worse, and it's like 1 game, 2 games, whatever. And like, but here's the point that don't
they usually go by injuries?
Like, they do. Don't
they usually say, "Oh, the guy's missing. He's going to be out 6 weeks or whatever. You're going to miss 6-7 games." Greg got up right away. Was at practice. Is playing.
Yeah,
like, there's no injury.
No. And I think, like, here's one of the things that Drager said specifically tonight, and I've heard some other analysts say this as well, is that yes, exactly. But I don't agree with this take, but this is what some of the takes are from some of these guys who do it for a living. Okay. Like, that Rielly Greg didn't see it coming. He didn't expect it. He didn't, whatever. But did you hear that?
Who said that?
Drager said it tonight.
Okay. I'm sorry, Darren Drager. How, I don't care if
this is what I'm saying.
No, I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. How do you not
if you play fucking beer league and you take a slap shot into an empty net, someone is going to be like, "Hey, what are you fucking doing?
You're going home with a broken leg. You're going home with a broken leg.
You're not going home with a broken leg, but somebody you might in the right league." But everybody watching that game when he did that was like, "Oh, that wasn't right."
No.
So for them to be like, oh my God. How long has Greg been playing hockey? Did he just start? No,
that's just it though, right? Like, a bonehead play by the Senators fucking player to fucking,
he knew what he was doing.
Of course he knew. So for people to be saying like, "Oh, he didn't see it coming, he couldn't defend himself, blah blah blah," get the fuck out of here. Or he didn't, like, you have to expect
He knew.
that
He knew.
something is going to happen if you decide to fucking hammer it like you're in the hardest shot fucking competition in empty net from the hash marks with no goalie. Like, get serious, man. Like, this guy didn't fucking expect anything. Like,
he knew.
Like that was just going to be a cool move to fucking do, and nobody was going to. Maybe he thought like, oh, it's the Leafs, so I can get away with doing this, and no one is going to do anything.
No,
Maybe
I don't think he thought this is the Leafs. I can get away with it. I think he thought this is the Leafs. This is the Battle of Ontario. This is Saturday night, hockey night in Canada.
All of a sudden, this guy's I didn't know who the fuck this guy was.
And now next time they play, like, honest to God, Leaf fans, that we got a long memory. You wait. Next year when they play Ottawa for the first time, everyone will be like, someone's got to fucking fight Ridley Gregg.
You would think so, but with this fucking...
Well, no one will, but...
Probably not, but
anyway... But the bottom line is he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he was stirring the pot.
Yes.
He didn't think, oh, God, I was just having fun. He knew. He looked over his shoulder. He knew exactly what Rielly was coming. He didn't think Rielly was coming. Oh, look at that. I got a thumbs up. He didn't know that Rielly was just coming over to... He didn't think Rielly was coming over to talk.
Dude.
He knew he was getting it.
Okay, so to bow tie the Rielly suspension, I think 5 games is absolute bullshit. I think a couple, 3 max, maybe 2, whatever. Like, again, not a repeat offender. Rielly never does. Like, Rielly's one of the fucking, like...
He Leafs are the most suspended team.
I did, which is odd, but that goes back to the Kadri suspensions.
Still,
and
though.
It is weird. It is weird.
They've had
for one of the softest teams in the league to have the most suspensions.
They've had the most games lost due to suspension and least games lost to suspensions to them.
Yeah, that's odd for sure. It is for sure. To be leading is just absolutely crazy. Like,
know, maybe Peros is still pissed that Colton Orr knocked him out. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
enough.
You never know.
Anyway, so I'll say I think the Rielly suspension is absolute bullshit. And, again, if that was me on the ice, and I think you feel the same way, I would have taken that fucking kid's head off. I would have taken a fucking 10-game suspension. I don't give a shit. I would have taken that kid's head off. Like, I would have done the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying.
You speak for a big portion of hockey fans who are watching that play. There are newer hockey fans where they've grown up in a game that's not as... Oh,
the violence, right?
Well, they grew up, but even those people were like, it deserves some sort of response. And that's where, that's where everyone's fighting is, did Rielly go too far? Was it this? But everyone agrees on one thing. He deserved something for doing it.
Okay, sure. Fair. But would you not have done the same thing if you were him?
Yeah.
Suspension or not, like, I would have just, in the heat of the moment, when I see a guy fucking rip it like that from the hash marks in the empty net, I'm sorry, dude, you're getting something's going down. Like, there's no way you can just not do anything about that. It just would show how soft this team really is. And like,
what I would have done?
It's nice to see a guy at least fucking be like, you know what? Enough of this fucking shit. Whether it's suspended, a suspendable play or not, is it not just nice to see like someone be like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
Let's be honest. Almost every play where we've talked about on this podcast, and we've been doing it for 5 years. For the last 5 years, any play we've talked about where the team has shown this kind of passion or heart, Rielly's usually the one we're talking about.
True. Very true.
So it was only fitting that it would be Morgan Rielly. Now, if I had been on the ice, Rielly would have went at him. He would have knocked him on the ice. I would have grabbed the puck and just took a slap shot at his face.
That would have been
5 feet away.
I would have been fine with that too. Anyway, anything else?
No, I just want to say, like, good on Rielly, and it's just nice. It's just nice to see that. Like, it's nice to see. I don't know. We fight so much on this podcast about the passion, about fucking showing up, about showing balls.
The lack thereof.
Yeah, the lack thereof. We talk about it all the time. Every year when they get beat out of the playoffs, we talk about it. It was just nice to see one of them do something. If you want my opinion, when he gets back from his 5-game suspension, he should have the goddamn C on his jersey.
100%. 100%. He basically is the captain anyway. Like, he really is.
Yeah. Well, your actual captain was on the ice at that time and didn't do shit. So
Well, he kind of got involved, but he didn't really want to, and he never does. But that's just who JT is. Speaking of JT, I'll move off the suspension here. Connor Timmins out with mono, Chad. Think that there's any relation here to Marner and Tavares being out?
Don't you have to get mono from making out with someone?
I'm not sure how you get mono.
I'm pretty sure you get mono from making out with someone.
Well, maybe there's some crazy shit going on behind.
Like I don't think you can get mono from. Just like random. I'm no fucking doctor.
No, I don't know.
I don't think you can get mono from just like being around someone. I think you got to get right in there.
Maybe they're getting a little crazy in the hot tub or the cold tub, or I don't know. Like I'm not sure. I'm assumptions here. Like it's probably not that, but one guy on the team is out with mono, Connor Timmins. Like he doesn't play anyway. Keith won't put him into a fucking game no matter what, and he's out with mono. But 1691. Marner and Tavares, mysterious illnesses tonight. I don't know, little concerning. Hopefully it's not mono. Just
have you ever had mono?
I've never had mono. No,
I've never had mono. But the one person I knew who had mono got it from making out with a girl at a party who had mono.
Okay.
Now maybe that was just coincidence, but my whole life I've been like, oh, so you have to make out with someone to get mono. That's what I've always thought.
I've heard that it's not a fun experience, so hopefully that's not the case here. And Connor Timmins, hopefully you can get over the mono. I don't think that'll help you get back in the lineup anyway, because Keith is just not going to put you in there, Connor, but it's all good. Couple quick things, Chad, before we bounce here. So, yeah, Bertuzzi again, like 18 games without a goal. That is crazy. For a guy
breakaway tonight. Hit the post tonight. 2-on-1 miss.
I know.
Kind of a 2-on-1. Like, he can't buy a goal.
No, he had chances and he can't. But here's what Domi said during the intermission. Did you catch this?
No, I didn't catch it.
The Leafs had a power play late in the second period. They didn't score. Domi decided to Bertuzzi kind of got it. I don't think Bertuzzi got the shot off. I think he got it to Domi at the side of the net, and Domi, whatever, he couldn't bury it. And they were interviewing Domi after he came off the ice, second intermission, and he said this. He said, Domi thinks that once it comes for Bertuzzi, it's going to come in bunches. Now, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't know if it's good. It'll probably come eventually.
You think it'll just be like he'll come once and then it'll take a while before he'll come again?
I think he'll come, but we're in the middle of February here. Do I think he's going to come in bunches between now? There's 2 months left of the season. No, I don't think so. Like he has not had a good year. He has been shit, really. Like he has not.
Yeah, but sometimes once you get that first one off, they just keep coming in bunches. So
sometimes, but sometimes once you fire the first one in the net, it's much more difficult to fire the next couple. That's true. It could go both ways. But Domi is like Mr. Positive here. He's like, oh,
he's always positive.
Bertuzzi's gonna come, and once he comes, he's just gonna come in bunches. I don't agree with that, but it could happen. I hope it does.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, for the sake of this team being stuck in, as we're recording this, Boston and Tampa, I believe, are still playing. It's tied at 2. The game might be over now. I don't know if you're going to do a quick check on that, but as far as I'm aware, the Leafs have not gained any room in the standings. They're still in a wild card spot. So I guess the last thing I was going to touch on was the standings. Where you feel, or how you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Lightning won 3-2 in OT.
Okay, so the Leafs didn't gain any ground. Boston got
everybody got points.
The first and second seed in the Atlantic are gone. Like, forget it. Boston and Florida, it's game over. So either the Leafs can catch Tampa and get the third seed and play the Panthers, or they get one of the wild card spots and they play the Rangers or probably the Bruins or the Panthers, like depending on how it goes. But I wanted to get your thoughts on where the team is at in the standings now, holding down one of the wild card spots. They're in an absolute dogfight to make the playoffs. There's teams right on their ass that are the Islanders, fucking like even Pittsburgh's there, like New Jersey. There's teams right on their ass. Okay,
I love it.
Go ahead.
No, I absolutely love it because I think the last few seasons they've known since fucking December what place they were gonna. They were basically just playing for home ice advantage, and I think last year, by the time they got to like end of February, they knew they were gonna have home ice advantage and play the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. Like it was done.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be good, and we're gonna see what this team's made of if they've got to fight their way into the playoffs. If they start playing playoff hockey mid-March, and it's like they're in a wild card, they're out of a wild card, they're third place in the division, they're out of the playoffs, they're in a wild card, it's going to be good. And I think it's good for the team to go into, look at Florida last year. They were playing playoff hockey from fucking February. They went from like the bottom of the standings to a wild card spot all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I think it's good for Toronto to maybe fight their way into the playoffs this year.
I think you're right. It can't be. I don't see how it could be a bad thing. They're like you said. They're so used to being home and cool, smooth and cool, no problem.
They knew they were second or third in the division every year for the last few years. It's Boston, Tampa, Toronto locked up.
Like I don't know what the percentages are here, but like there's a chance that
they have a 93% chance to make the playoffs.
That seems very high to me with the teams that are right behind them. That seems very fucking high. Like I know they've got a few games.
That's what the Athletic has them at, and that was before tonight. So
they're 3 losses away from all of a sudden there's like 3 or 4 teams like 1 or 2 points behind them. So that to me that seems like very high, but okay. But I think I think you're right. I think it's good. Like it's good that like they've got to not coast in here the rest of the way. They've got to fucking fight their way in. So let's see what's up. Like, let's see what's up. Could they? No, I was gonna say, could they use a new coach bump? Because it seems to be working for other teams, but we can save that for another podcast. Let's not go there tonight.
Yeah, they won tonight, and honestly, the team, like I said, the team played a system game tonight and looked fucking dominant. So maybe it's not the coach. Maybe it's not the coach, but I know it's easy to blame the coach. It's easy to fire the coach. Anywhere else you want to go?
Last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you take it out on this. Joseph Woll back practicing from his high ankle sprain, participating in full practice. Still no timeline on when he will return to game action, but Jones apparently suffered an injury during the Ottawa game on Saturday. Hildeby was backing up Samsonov tonight. So it looks to me like they're going to give Samsonov the net. Keith won't play fucking Hildeby.
No,
we know that. No, we know that. Well, they've got a back-to-back coming up next week, though. They've got a back-to-back coming up.
They are so lucky. They are so lucky that the goaltending has kind of like just been there to sit. Like Martin Jones, when Samsonov was playing shit and Wall went down,
he saved the season, dude.
Saved the season. But then Samsonov comes back and you're like, oh God, finds his game again.
A little,
for the most part. Bit. Yeah. Man, he's winning games again. That's all that you can really ask for.
Oh no, much better, much better. So what do you think?
He won't play Hildeby. He'll play Samsonov back to back. He did it with Jones.
Yeah, he probably will. You're probably right. Unless Wall, maybe like I don't know. There's still no timeline on Wall, but like if he's back participating in full practice, he can't be that far away, right? Like
high ankle sprain is such a weird injury.
Extra precautionary because of the injury, and like they really are thinking like maybe Wall is the guy they want like in the playoff.
I think Samsonov's on a 1-year contract. I think they want Wall to be the guy.
Yeah. But I mean, give him a little bit of extra time here, like no rush to get Wall back in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Although they're in a wild card spot.
That's what I'm saying. At the same time, we're fighting for a playoff spot. But a high ankle sprain is probably one of the weirdest injuries.
100%.
You think it's healed, and then the next day it fucking hurts like hell. And
hasn't played since the middle of November. Joseph Wall.
It's such a bad injury. Anyway, hopefully Wall comes back and plays. You got anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right, everybody. Once again, we just want to apologize for the month that we took off, but we are going to do our best to bring you episodes as frequently as possible. And follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Tip In Pod on Twitter, Tip In Podcast on TikTok. And until next time, I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
And we will.
Hey, look, the only plus side I can see here for Morgan Rielly is that Valentine's Day tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Morgan Rielly's got 5 games off. Will he be going on the road trip with the team? Or actually, they're at home all week, so I guess it doesn't matter. He won't, so I guess that does matter. But I guess he will probably be able to spend a little bit more time with Tessa Virtue, which can never be a bad thing. Thumbs up, Mo. Good for you, buddy. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you later.
Catch you later.